credit to the players, the staff, that they've kept it going. And 7 out of the last 12 with wins against a couple wins against Atlanta and Chicago. It's a heck of an ending.
You said all along that most important thing to do is keep playing well. Just 2 games on the season left. How important is that?
The most important thing is tonight's game. The way I'm looking at it, I don't. Whatever seed we get, and that'll be a result of an 82-game schedule, not a result of obviously 1 or 2 games. And it is what it is, I think that we've had a pretty consistent year with regard to performance, but we've also had moments where we haven't played as well, and you just hope that you're playing as well as you can. I'm literally not talking about it with the team at all, nor am I losing 1 second of sleep over it.
One other thing I want to ask about Karpf. Obviously last year he started in the playoffs. Just looking forward to the playoffs, is it in your mind proving that he can be in the playoffs? Or do you think he'll be effective this time?
I think he'll be a factor. We need him to be ready to be a factor. There's no question. And it all depends on, last year we had to go small, and we were really struggling to keep up with them in a lot of ways. And when we did, it gave us a chance in here for a couple of games. But I think obviously it depends on who you play, how they play, and what's successful against them. But I think that the good news is we've had a lot of guys contribute here recently, let alone throughout the year, that we could very well lean on when that time comes.
Greg, you're not alone in not paying attention to seeding. In a sport and profession where every little thing you can do to give an edge, you look at, why do you think teams don't necessarily pay attention, like, oh, this could be a good matchup for us, or this would be a bad matchup for us, potentially, let's avoid it, that sort of thing?
Well, I'm sure teams pay attention to that, but I think ultimately you don't play well, you don't win games, it's all for naught. And so for us, our focus has to be on the things we can control, and that is us playing and hopefully playing well. So I don't get too caught up in all the other stuff. I just don't think you can. I think you can't talk all year about staying in the moment and winning the next possession if you're focused on what happens at the end.
At what point can you really start to, because the playoff series is so up in the air, start to scout your plans?
Well, our staff we divvy up scouting assignments all the way throughout the year. So, unless a staff member is assigned to Milwaukee in some capacity, because we have 3 different people working on each team, then the rest of those guys can get a head start on potential opponents that may have been something they've been working on all year. So we've talked about that and making sure that we're on top of what we can be on top of, and at the same time not wasting energy, because I think the most important thing is to focus on this game and to focus on our team.
So very good over the playoffs. How has that kind of evolved for your staff?
That's been very similar. I think the bottom line is, I feel really good about the way we prepare for things. I feel really good about the way we look at things. Our players are good about preparing. The one thing is that I've learned is what it ends up being is obviously there will be some tremendous individual performances, and maybe some bad matchups, right? But at the end of the day, if you run back and set your defense and make it as tough to score on as possible, you rebound the ball, and you don't turn it over, you give yourself a shot. And so ultimately, you got to keep that focus on playing good in that way.
Any rest considerations affecting it?
No.
Coach, when Cleveland happened with Cleveland yesterday, and there's do you redirect your focus at all, knowing that?
None. Our focus has been on Brooklyn since we landed from Charlotte. Thanks.
Thank you.